Thank you for joining us on our webinar series. It's an absolutely beautiful day here in Dublin. Hopefully you had a nice weather in your location. Perhaps I should say it's a good morning or good afternoon or good evening, depending on region. Simply let's say namaste, universal greeting, I guess. I will start the webinar with introducing myself. I'm Guru Prasad, co-founder of Pivot Cloud Solutions. I have a lot of experience in enterprise systems, designing, architecting, and working with them. With that experience in mind, we developed our platform to suit the current day needs. Pivot Cloud Solutions, let me give you a little bit of background as well. We have gone through a few webinars. If you've seen those webinars before, you probably already know higher level how the platform works and what are the features and what we do to encourage the enterprises to move away from legacy systems. But if we haven't, this is probably a little small introduction. We use artificial intelligence and machine learning and cloud technologies to target specific legacy system and train models, the AI models, to learn about them and move the legacy code and the data into cloud. In this particular webinar series, we're going to be concentrating on low code, no code feature of our platform. We use heavily while migrating the legacy code. This feature is being used by our platform, our professional services quite heavily. So we're going to introduce that part of thing and other parts in the next following series. Hopefully you can join us and learn more about how our platform works, and hopefully it will be helpful. All the negative things going on in the world, a little bit of creativity, and if you can put your own skills and eliminate all the redundant things and the frustrations out of it, it could be some good in the world. That's what I think anyway. So let's jump into our topic. Today's topic is about the low code, no code. In enterprise environment, normally it will be starts with a business analyst, product owners, or the stakeholders who would be defining what they would like to be presented and how they want to be presented. Those specifications are being either traditionally been waterfall methodology, they will be written in a documents, will be moved, they will be passed on to the developers, designers, or architects who would be looking after all those things and then turning them into a code, build them, and the built application would be passed on to DevOps, and the DevOps will be deploying them in a live environment and managing on a day-to-day basis. So these are three different groups in enterprise environments that are required to address any solution they're going to be brought it in. So in this particular episode, we'll be concentrating on the first part of it, business analysts, and then next episode will show you how the developers can use it, and then we'll go on to the DevOps side of it. Typically, software development process starts with a planning, defining the specifications in a formats that suit you. Sometimes you'll be writing a documents, or sometimes it will be like a flowcharts or the agile cards that's been put it on a card onto a board and move on for a faster and quicker developments, and whichever is in your company standard and you are more comfortable with learned and what you wanted, how you are achieving your end goals, you will be using that in a company to writing those specifications. Then it goes into design, build, test, deployment. So why is a no code, low code? Because of the traditional methodology where the time taken to write the specifications and move on to code, and a misunderstanding between the specifications and how the developers understand, when they built it, they may not 100% satisfy requirements, or you wanted to change something very quickly and it may not be possible because the developers has to do that and then redeploy it, and which takes a lot of time. So they knew always advancements coming up, and the low code, no code promises that to give you with a drag and drop uh, type of interface where you can just take the components, start building them, your a business requirement into a usable component, and then put it into the production. In conventional, some of the platforms you've probably already seen how the low code, no code platforms do work. They require a learning curve and moving on to the different things. And we take another approach. As you've seen before, we try to address those three groups of people without trying to interfere into each other. As a business analyst may not know how to code, but the coders may not know what are the business requirements are, or how to satisfy the stakeholders, including the customers and the front-end customers, and what they need and how they need it. Same goes to DevOps. So we going to show this one here, how we address that particular problem. Adding a new feature in our platform is a very, very simple. Simply create a new feature. New feature is nothing but a complete an application. So in this one, we can design a new product registration page. So all those other things are not required. Therefore, we can continue on to building a form. We take a very simple example of, say, in this particular example, a new product has been deployed. Say, we'll take an example of a insurance company who would like to deliver new product in response to the COVID crisis. So you would have a new product that is as a COVID coverage, the customer basic details, and probably you want to have some additional features like a sign and submit. So let's call it a customer details, like a customer name, so first name. So if you see that, I can actually put straight away a placeholder so that it will appear in the placeholder text. So you can actually remove this one if you don't want to be if we don't want to label to be appear, but the placeholder will have it in place. We can also add a last name. So I added a username, first name and last name. So now I'm going to go to the next page. We call it as the product selection. In this product selection, perhaps I would like a checkbox. Basic cover. Premium cover. COVID cover. So this new product is also gives them an option to select COVID cover. So now we have 4 different products that's available for the user to select. So we'll take some other essential details. Essential details. Say you would like to give them user a online registration at the same time. So you might like to give them username. Username and password. So they can enter their username and password before submitting it. And probably would like to add a coverage amount. Okay, would like to add a coverage amount too. So I could just say okay against. Now we have essential details. So now I could actually even sign and submit. So if anybody tells you online signature is very difficult, don't believe it, because here we can just show you how base64 encoded signature can be captured from the form itself and we can submit it. So now we are done, literally done. Can verify everything end to end. Say brilliant. So we can test it. Every single thing comes up. So at this point of time, if you are a business analyst, you would be looking for, okay, now I would actually trying to make this a mandatory field. I don't want to be user to leave that one and send a form, unfinished form. So we'll just make it as a mandatory. Now we could just say this is a mandatory. You cannot move forward without adding these two fields. That's being done. You could just do the same thing for anything you like. And there's a lot of fields that you can add at different types. And when the coverage starts, say we would like to have cover start date. Simple. Save just a form. You have everything here to design. So this is no code, low code in action. So it doesn't stop there. We could literally now go back and deploy this as a microservice. And integrate with the front end. So in your test environment or even a live environment, you can literally go to the production in a single day. You start in the morning, you have your, this is done. Right now, this implementation is ready to go. So let me show you actual deployment itself. There is your form designed. It's available straight away. Cover amount, essential details, sign and submit. So basic cover. That's from June 1st, 2021. I'm okay with that. Sign. This information now gone through all the validation, middleware validation, and stored in the database in a format that you can use your analytic tools or anything in the JSON format. The REST APIs are being built and microservice is ready to be deployed. So we're done adding a form, we deployed it as a microservice. So now it's not a great use if you can't use it in an enterprise environment. Most companies will have their own front end, either it is a CMS or Adobe type of um, specialist built front end, or your own front end is being built, but they're all delivering features for the end users as a single portal, either as a subdomain, but through the subdomain or your own www thing and under a particular place where this form will be available. So having a microservices enables you to quickly integrate that and put it into production. In our example here, I'm going to show you a WordPress content management system, and the microservice we just built, we put it into the content management system and deliver to the front end users. So this is a WordPress, standard WordPress. We can create a page. So there is a few existing pages. So I can just take one of these pages, show you previously built one. So I'll just need to change that to the new microservice we just deployed. We're done. We have it. You have user. You have a product selection. And submit. We're done. Now we can see there's a lot of validations or a lot of other business rules you want to apply to them are not available right now. So at this point of time, we're happy with the basic things done, but we wanted to do more advanced stuff. So how do you go about it? We'll just show you using our platform, how easy it is. First of all, we just kill it. We don't need any more. Now we'll go and edit it. So like say, maybe we would like to add an email address here. We like to make it as a mandatory. So users have to input their number. So maybe this is not mandatory. Maybe we would like to do something more innovative. Say if the signature is available only conditionally. So I'm going to add a condition. So when a premium cover, COVID cover, basic cover, now we could just see it. When you select the form and change, when the basic cover is being selected, so the sign is not required, but any other cover is required. Signature is required for the end users. So you've done that. I'll select premium. I see the signature. Let's select. There is no signature required. So this is working as we expected. So there are a lot of other fields out there you can select, and you can make it if you are a little more tech savvy. You could customize these forms to the nth degree to the precisely how you would like to deliver to the customer. Once this is done, you can redeploy it. Now you could just see that new one is in action, complete with other details that we added right now. So registration as view, as you can see, this thing is being modified. Now you have an email address here, mandatory. In order to get to the next page, you have to enter email address as well. So as we've seen, it's that easy to use low code, no code development environment. Your ideas, the customer focused features and various fields that you wanted to deliver, we put it into as a microservice and deliver for the next stage. So in the next episode, we can show you more in detail how the developers can work on independently on the service side of it, enhance the what you've been developed right now into the next level. Perhaps you would like to check whether the username and user registration can't go through without the user being already, if his username is already taken, so you just wanted to give a error message to the end users. So that level of it, or you send it to the third party coverage. So if you have somebody selects 1 million or 2 million coverage, so you want to send it to a reinsurer to make sure you're not going over the limit, and that using their proprietary APIs, which requires a developer's help. So, but developers can now easily work on independently on a service side of it and attach those services to the microservice you already designed, deliver the whole package to the DevOps where they can take it from there to the next level, i.e. putting into the production and continue operating for the perceivable future. So this is the demonstration of, there is a lot more things that is there if you'd like to learn more things, and we'll be very happy to share more information as much as we can. And thank you very much for sharing some of the last time you asked for quite a lot of questions, and we try to answer as many as possible, and we'll try to do the same thing this time. So I hope you got something out of this webinar.